Hey guys, I went to go see The Last Jedi with uh, with one of my buddies, and I'm gonna go ahead and say on the record right now that to me, and this is all in my opinion, that it absolutely sucked. I was so let down after watching this movie. I don't even know where to begin. One thing I want to say: if you have not watched that movie, spoilers are coming. Don't watch this movie or don't watch this video if you don't want the movie spoiled. Okay, number one, the first thing is Rey. All right, in the Force Awakens, they built her up to be some kind of a special person. You know, she's the Wonder Girl. She can do everything. She can fly any ship. She can fix anything. She can talk to any droid. She was just a jack of all trades. She knew how to do it all. So for 2 years, everybody speculated and speculated. Who is Rey? You know, blah 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 blah. Comes to find out, she's nobody. Her parents sold her off where they could go drink and become alcoholics and gamble or whatever the hell it is that they went to do. So why did they leave this big mystery about her for 2 years? And I mean, everybody speculated: was she Snoke's daughter? Was she Luke's daughter? You know, was she Forceborn? So this was a big letdown for me. I was horribly upset over the whole deal. All right, the next thing is Snoke. I mean, they killed him off like a bitch, and he was the god awful guy. He could do anything. He was the was he a Sith Lord? What was he? We never found out who this guy really was, where he came from, how old he was. You know, and he could read the minds of Kylo Ren and Rey without even trying, but yet he couldn't register that, hey, Kylo's turning a lightsaber, and then he gets cut in half and he never even sees it coming, but yet he can read everybody's thoughts in the whole room. You know, and then the big fight after he kills off Snoke with all these super trained Emperor's Guardian kind of deals in the red cloaks, red robes, I forget what their names are, but her and Kylo kill every one of them, and really, and neither one of them were really all that powerful. They were still like apprentices learning, but yet they could kill all of these guardians. Royal Guard, excuse me, thank you. Royal Guard, they killed every one of them, but yet they're still apprentices. I'm not buying that. That didn't make no damn sense to me. How can you kill all these royal guards off, and you're just apprentice? She's never even been trained that we know of. Well, then she goes to the island on the planet where Luke is at, and my question is, okay, Luke's been here for all these years. What the hell has he been doing? You know, other than milking these damn wildebeest creatures. I don't remember what the names of them are. She hands him his lightsaber, and he looks at it and just like throws it over his shoulder and walks off. Really? And he is just, he refuses to help her, which he ends up reluctantly helping her, but they don't do much, and he just he doesn't want to have anything to do with training her. That whole deal was just wrong. Poor Mark Hamill having to play that character like that. I even believe he expressed some grief over that, of how they portrayed Luke Skywalker. Yeah. What about the Knights of Ren? Whatever happened with them? They had the big build up in the Force Awakens, and then that was it. You don't hear anything more out of them, and we still don't know anything about them. What happened to the Knights of Ren? They were supposed to be inserted into The Last Jedi, from what I've read in the past. But somehow they ended up getting pushed to the side and forgotten about. I just didn't feel that. Another thing, we didn't get a lightsaber fight between the dark side and the light side. You know, we always get that. Why didn't we get the one this time? No lightsaber fight, except that little bullshit thing on the desert planet, on the salt planet, and that weren't even him there the whole time. Really, Disney? Is this really? I just don't see it. And the story plots on or storylines on Finn and Poe were just, I don't even know what they were thinking of when they did that. And then you got Finn and Rose only knows Finn for like 12 hours, and she falls in love with him and kissing on him and saving his life. And so the whole time Finn was flying his little skid racer or whatever you want to call it, fixing to just suicide crash into it. All the damn, even, you know, the walkers were looking down at him, but nobody was shooting. Really? You know, what was going on there? And then all of a sudden she comes out of nowhere. They don't be shooting at her. I mean, sorry. That it was just poorly written. And throughout the whole movie, it was, you know, it was just like, you know, all the Star Wars movies, you know, you got comic reliefs going on and jokes and little funny scenes and this and that. And they were okay in The Force Awakens. But in The Last Jedi, I didn't get it. None of it. None of it was funny. Nobody in the theater was laughing at most of the jokes, you know, in the funny scenes. Like, like Finn walking around leaking water. It was just, it didn't make any sense. You know, why they were trying to, this is supposed to be a dark, terrible time in the galaxy, you know, and there was just far too much joking and kidding around. Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with, you know, the Chewie and the little penguin dude. I don't know what he was, and I get that. I laughed at the little where he was fixing to eat one he had cooked, and little buddy down there was doing a little sad face and the chin quivering and all that. Yeah, that was kind of funny. I laughed at that. But I don't know. There was just far, 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 far too much going on. It was the jokes and the comic relief shit. It didn't make no sense. Another thing, Phasma. Really? She got maybe 3 or 4 more lines in this movie than she did the first one. And then, not only that, but they kill her off. You know, and I keep asking myself, why would you waste an awesome character? I forget the character, the person's name that played that character, but she is an awesome actor. And they just wasted that. But now, you know, her falling into the flames, if she somehow survives that, then that's going to be even more ridiculous, because she fell way down into the horrible inferno of flames. And if they let her live through that, then that's just going to be even more ridiculous than how they wasted her in this movie, in both movies, really. I didn't feel that. Yeah, stormtroopers can't aim. They still can't aim. And I want to talk about the space battle, the fleet battles, where you got the Republic or the Resistance capital ships with the Star Destroyers and this big monstrosity ship. So they're far enough away from the destroyers that they can't let the fighter support go in, and they're not able to cover these fighter ships. So they just keep firing on them and chasing them at sublight to, I guess, just to run them out of fuel. But then when all the shuttles took off ahead of the capital ship, they were able to shoot those. I didn't understand that. I'm like, you can't hit this capital ship, but you can shoot past it. And I don't get it, you know. Now, one of the biggest things that really bothered the shit out of me is, prior to all that in the big battle, is Superwoman Princess Leia. How the bridge gets blown out on her ship and she gets sucked out in the vacuum of space. Well, without being trained or anything, she knows how to do a force bubble and to keep her alive. And then she turns around and she flies back to the ship and knocks on the damn door. When they open up the door and nobody's sucked out into space, and they bring her in and shut the door. First off, she hasn't been trained. She's not a Jedi. I mean, that's like Rey using the Jedi mind trick in The Force Awakens, and she didn't even know she had any Force powers. How does she know anything, or how do you even do the Jedi mind trick? At the end of it, all right, you got all these. Well, let's go to the Luke. Is he dead? Did they kill him off? That was the biggest mystery to me of the whole movie. So he's using his Force powers and projecting a Force projection over here on this planet on the other side of the galaxy some damn where. And he does a quick little fight with Kylo. And then when it's all over with, it shows him collapsing on the rock. You know, I can understand he's drained himself and everything, but is he? Everybody keeps saying he's dead. Is he dead? I don't know. I don't understand what's going on with that. And at the end, all right, so there's no way out the back door, but yet they find a way out the back, and there's only like a handful or two handfuls of them, a dozen, that make it through. What happened to all them hundreds of soldiers that were in the trenches with this simulation Hoth battle? Only it's the salt battle now. You know, where'd all them troops go? Did they die? Every single one of them? I didn't see a single. All I seen was like the people inside. Everybody out front died during that little skirmish. You know, I don't get it. To me, the Last Jedi was written by people that had no idea about the Star Wars lore and the Star Wars universe, because there was so much of this movie that just didn't fit. I didn't get it. It was like they slapped it together and really didn't know what they were doing when they were doing it. Because there was so much in this movie that just didn't make any sense. And then you had it was like when they took off, you know, Finn and Rose, and they tore out and went to I forget the name of that planet. It's the gambling planet, you know, and the casinos. They looking for a master safe cracker or something like that, or where they lock picker. I don't even remember. And they can't get the one that they're looking for, and so they get this other dude that's locked, and he ends up betraying them to the First Order. And then they're riding around on these jackalopes or whatever you want to call them, and why was that even put in? That's 30 minutes of the movie. This 2-hour and 37-minute movie, you could have pulled 30 minutes of that right there. And the whole relationship with Finn and Rose, she knew him for what, 12 hours, give or take, and she falls in love with him and saves his life and kisses him, and golly, the horror. The Force Awakens was bad too, but it was better than The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was a horrible, horrible film, in my opinion. When I walked out of that theater, I felt betrayed, you know. And don't get me wrong, I'm not going to sit here and try to act like I'm an expert on Star Wars lore and this and that. But come on, I'm not an idiot. I mean, I know what I watched, and I know that this is a horrible, horrible movie. I can only imagine, you know, so many characters wasted that were built up in The Force Awakens, and they were just tossed aside in this movie. So I don't know. I don't understand it. So we're gonna have to wait and see what the next one comes out and what it's like. So maybe it's got to be better than The Last Jedi. All right, I've done enough ranting. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you next time.